Hey guys, it is Michael.
And Fred from StevensvilleGamers.
And welcome to, a couple hours ago, Hearthstone leaked, well, it's Blizzard.
Blizzard revealed
yeah.
a few new cards from the upcoming expansion, and we thought that we would talk about them here. Just real quick, give you our thoughts on what these cards are going to mean for the meta, what these mechanics are going to mean. There's a lot of interesting new mechanics. Let's talk about the Warrior card first.
Okay.
So the Warrior card is a 5-mana 2/5, and it has Rush, which is a new mechanic. It's kind of like Charge, but bad, because they're afraid of printing good cards. And so Rush means that it can only attack minions the turn it comes in, but it's basically Charge, right? The other thing is it has +3 attack the turn it comes in. So the turn it comes in, it's a 5/5 that can attack minions. And then it becomes a 2 whatever after that, right?
Yeah.
I think that this card is arena filler. It might be like a not terrible pick in arena. It's never going to see any constructed play. What about you?
I think it's a common. Mm-hmm. But it's a 2-drop.
Oh, it's called Militia Captain. No, it's a 5-drop.
It's a 5-drop?
5-mana 2/5.
Okay, if it's a 5-drop, then I don't think it's going to see any play.
I'm thinking no constructed play, a little bit of arena play. I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 stars.
I'm going to give it about 1.5 stars.
Okay, we're doing half stars, all right.
Because they just won't give it. If it had Charge...
I'm going to give it David Bowie's Black Star. Yeah, I think this is a 2-star card. It's going to be moderately arena playable.
Out of 5.
Out of 5, obviously, yeah. So, Pumpkin Peasant is the next card
that we're going
to talk
Pumpkin
about.
Peasant.
You do?
Yeah, that's cool. The idea that...
Go ahead and lead it off. Explain what the card does.
So it's a 3/2/4 with lifesteal.
3-mana 2/4.
Yeah, 3-mana 2/4 with lifesteal. But the catch is, each turn it's in your hand, it's attack and power, or it's power and health flip-flop.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. It's picture switches too, because it's a human and then it's a Worgen, and I think that's really neat.
I think it's really cool.
Card is bad, I think.
Well, I think I think it's too high, because it's either a 2/4 for 3 with lifesteal, which is
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
then it turns into
playable.
a 4/2, and I think that's why it's a 3-drop for 2 health.
Well, that's not that bad, because it doesn't die to those hero powers. The other thing is, you're gaining more life if it's a 4/2 and it's hitting face over and over again. You want them in different situations.
You're probably not gonna. I don't know.
I think bottom line, either of those bodies are only okay for 3 mana. Not great. I think they're trying to test the waters. That's why it's at common. The cool thing is, I think there's going to be interesting design space with this Worgen mechanic that minions can change in your hand. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is that if all of these cards just have switch to their attack and health in your hand, then that's going to be really disappointing misuse of design space, in my opinion. So if that's what all the Worgens end up doing, it's going to be a pretty big disappointment for me.
Do you think that they should be able to switch their effects too? Like if you went from like a taunt as a 2/4/3 and then turn it to a lifesteal 4/2 for 3?
Oh, not this card in particular. This card's
I'm just saying,
fine,
like, as an example.
But if all of the Worgens do that, instead of some Worgens saying, like,
flip it to
draw 2 cards and destroy a random enemy minion, and then next turn it's draw 1 card and destroy 2 random enemy minions. That would be a cool design space that I'm hoping they're going to explore with this mechanic, but, maybe not. Only time will tell.
So, I'm going to give the Pumpkin Peasant a 3-star.
Wow, okay. I am somewhere
like
between 2 and 3. I'm just going to go ahead and say 2, because understated lifesteal minions have not seen play in the past. You can look at Bloodworm from...
Bloodworm's the 4/4.
The 4/4 for 5 from Knights of the Frozen Throne, and that saw no play. It's just a slightly below curve minion with lifesteal. The Murloc that was 1/1 with lifesteal for 1, unplayable outside of like Murloc Paladin, and barely playable there.
There's so many better options.
I think the developers overvalue lifesteal. The only lifesteal card that really saw play was Chillblade Champion and Handbuff Paladin. That was like it. Other than cards, the only and that's not even a vanilla lifesteal card. Mm-hmm. The Obsidian Statue saw play, but that's not a vanilla lifesteal card, and it's not good because of the lifesteal. It's good because of
the other
the destroy a random thing and the taunt, right? That's what makes it good. So I'm going to go ahead and I think we can safely give this 2 stars. You're saying 3?
I'm saying 3.
All right.
I think
of the doubt. You're a little partial to this card, I think.
Why?
You like it a lot.
I like the idea of being able to do. It's very strategically situational.
Yeah.
So you can. There's a lot more.
The other thing is, though, you have no
control
over what it is on any given turn, though. Like, it might be a 2/4 the turn you need it to be a 4/2.
Yeah, but I mean that's just it.
Yeah,
That's what comes with the mechanic, obviously.
Right, I get that.
If you're, and that's a lot of, like, it's basically you're getting 2 cards with 1, but you don't have any control over which one you get. It's kind of like, it's basically just like drawing cards.
like those unidentified cards, like an unidentified shield that always gives you 15 armor, never anything else, and like unidentified maul, which always gives you taunt, never anything else.
I usually get to give +1 attack.
Okay, I only ever get the bad options off of those. Apparently, the priest one always gives me like the like divine shield one or whatever instead of the like summon a 1/1 copy or death rattle, whatever. Like it never gives me the good option. Okay.
So yeah, and also just because of the amount of space that you.
This has just turned into Fred complains about RNG. So we have the next card, Phantom Militia. This I'm really excited about. Not only the card in particular, but also the mechanic Echo. So it's a 3-mana 2/4 with Echo and Taunt. And Mike, would you like to explain to us what Echo does?
Basically, if you have enough mana, you can play it as many times for 3 in a turn. So if you have
however
3,
many the card costs. So for this one, it's 3.
Yeah. So if like Ben said in the video, if you have 3 mana, you can play it once. If you have 6, you can play it twice. And wow, if you have 9, you can play 3 2/4 taunts if you really want to spend 9 mana on that.
Well, I mean, I think it comes from value. The fact that it doesn't take a card in your hand to play those other copies.
True.
So you're not spending that mana on something else. Like, that's obviously not the best way to spend 9 mana on 3 2/4 taunts. But 9 mana in 1 card, and, 3 enters the battlefield triggers 3 separate taunts. We've seen what 3 separate taunts can do. It's wrecked the format for the past while in the form of Void Lord's Death Rattle. But I think Phantom Militia is a really cool card. I think this is going to be just an interesting way to explore design space. Definitely solid in Arena.
I think the other thing is,
pick in Arena.
A lot of the times if you're playing something, and I think the mechanic of Echo is going to make lower cost cards be more helpful on higher curves, because a lot of the time if you draw a 3-drop on turn 8, you're kind of like, well, I have this now, which, you're not on curve. But if you draw a 3-drop Echo on turn 8...
the reason this card is good is the flexibility that it's good when you draw it on curve. Well, it's not that good when you draw on curve, but it's playable when you draw it on curve, and it's playable when it's turn 8.
Yeah.
Not a lot of cards you're going to see that from, and it might take a hit in the overall value department just because you get to play it at any stage in the game, and it's solid. I'm going to go ahead and give this card a 3-star, although I think other Echo cards could be much higher, potentially.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way for them to... That card's a good way for them to, like, reveal the idea.
To introduce the Echo mechanic. I think I agree wholeheartedly.
But, yeah, it's cool. And I would also give it 3 stars with the notion that there's going to be more... I would give it like a 4-star, but the only thing is with Echo, if you can't have anything that's worth more than 5. That'll be...
Well, of course, yeah.
Well, so then then with that design space, you can only go with 5, and then if you look at 5 drops, there's like very limited. Even with the amount that you can go with it, you can only go so far, and you can only create 5 drops with Echo. And then knowing that it's a 5-drop with Echo, so they can do it twice. So I think they're limiting themselves the more you think about it. But
I think it's still got plenty of design space. I'm really excited about this mechanic. One caveat I would like to point out is Mike Doneas, one of the head designers for Hearthstone, confirmed on Reddit that any buffs applied to a card in the hand with Echo do not apply to the phantom copies that you get from Echo. So if you're playing hand buff Paladin, which I was originally excited about when I saw this card because I love hand buff Paladin, it's one of my favorite decks, but when I saw this get leaked, I was like, oh crap, I can pump this up to an 8-10 and then drop 3 of them in a row on turn 9, and how do you get through that? But that's not how it works. The phantom copies will be raw copies. Same goes for Emperor Tharzan. I can't play Emperor Tharzan. It'll only reduce the cost of the first one, so technically I can play 4 of these on turn 10 if I really want to. No, I can't do math. I can't do that even.
It doesn't work.
If I tick it down twice with Emperor Tharzan, I can play 4 of them on turn 10. But I can't tick it down with Emperor Tharzan and play 5 of them on turn 10. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I don't think there's anything in the game right now that can reduce the cost of these spells or these minions to 0. But if there were, then
that would be...
You could play infinite. You play 7 of these on your turn. The thing to look out for, I think, is going to be Echo spells with spell cost reducers, because you can potentially get the cost of a spell down to 0. You could do that with Unstable Evolution, but the thing was, with Unstable Evolution, there was a limit to the value you could get on it, because you could only evolve minions on your board. It wasn't dealing damage to your opponent, because that can go infinite. It wasn't gaining armor, because that could go infinite. It was only evolving the minions on your board, and they can only go up to 10 mana each, so there was a hard cap on what you could do, and once you evolved the thing that was giving you the spell cost reduction, you didn't have it anymore. But I feel like that was what was holding that in check. So if we get like a Echo deal 3 damage to an opponent as a spell, unless it costs
Exodia Mage is gonna,
unless it costs a lot of mana, then
go even further than it is
it's
now.
gonna be crazy. You won't even need
you won't need the
Archmage Antonidas. I will craft the Mage quest if that happens, and I would love for that to happen. It's like Storm and Hearthstone. And I think we've covered this card and this mechanic. I'm really excited about this. This is my most exciting part of the deck of the set for me.
Yeah.
You know what it's time to talk about now?
The 7-drop boyo.
The legendaries.
Yeah,
we can do the 7-drop first.
Yeah.
So
it's a 7-drop.
Azalina Soul Thief. 7-drop 3/3. Battle Cry. Replace your hand with your opponent's.
That's bad.
Whoa, what?
I do not like that.
Okay.
Depending on what
we're gonna get into a discourse about this card, because I think it's a sleeper.
It's a sleeper? What do you
like something that's gonna get slept on? Like, everybody said Corridor Creeper was bad. Everybody said Void Lord was bad in their set reviews.
Why would people say Void Lord is?
Because most of the pro streamers said this is garbage.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a whole, like, whenever streamers and stuff are wrong about a card, there's a bunch of Reddit threads and, like, YouTube videos. There's a lot of YouTube compilations about pro players being wrong about cards in their set reviews. They're pretty funny. I'm going to go ahead and give this credit and say it's a sleeper, because if you have an empty hand, this could be a 7-mana 3/3 that fills your hand with your opponent's late game stuff. Also, if you're playing an aggro deck, I know you don't want to get to 7 mana, but, like, you know, sometimes Murloc Paladin or something. I don't know. Let's say you're playing an aggro deck or a low-to-the-ground tempo deck. This is the top of your curve. You've run out your hand. You play this, and you get, like, a full hand back. If you're playing against, like, a really value-oriented deck like Dragon Priest.
Yeah.
You know, you can steal your opponent's, like... You can steal your opponent's quest reward if they haven't played it yet. Like, if your opponent's playing Quest Priest and they haven't dropped Amara yet because they haven't needed to, then you can play this. You have your own Amara. You know, if your opponent's playing, like, Quest Warlock and they haven't dropped their portal yet, you get a portal too.
Yeah.
You know?
So is that a... I don't know. It's very, like, specifically...
Yeah, it's very niche.
Toward...
and I feel like it's going to be bad in a lot of matchups, which is going to lead to it not getting played, but I feel like it getting randomly generated off of effects is what's going to make it really good. I think the fact you can discover it from some sort of options...
But it's like a... It is a vanilla... Or neutral.
Right. The stream highlights, I think, are where this card's going to shine. The crazy stuff where you have somebody playing, like, Journey to Ungoro Warrior, and they discover this off of Journey to Ungoro and replace their hand of nothing with their opponent's full hand of, like, their quest reward and, like, a Draconid Operative and a Ysera is going to be really funny. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that this might see a little bit of play in Standard in, like, some weird tempo decks that want to steal their opponent's hand, and that also depends on deck construction not being too niche. Stealing your opponent's hand is only good if your opponent's hand isn't very focused on doing a certain thing. Like, if you're playing its Quest Pally, you're going to steal a hand that's got, like, a Lanessa Sunsorrow that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And, like...
That's why, because there's a lot of stuff that is very geared towards doing a specific... Like,
right.
If you manage to get a cube and a Void Lord off of... If you're playing something like that, or
if you steal a cube and a Void Lord with this, then there you go.
If you only grab one half of whatever they're trying to do, or you grab a dead Lanessa Sun,
that's when it's really bad.
Like, if you grab, like, one of the legendary weapons that doesn't affect you at all.
If you grab Aluneth or, like, the Priest legendary weapon, God forbid anyone's playing that, but
like there's just a lot of things.
There's a lot of dead hands you could get, but there's also a lot of crazy stuff you can get, and I think a lot of people's finishers are incidentally relevant to other people. So, like, if you play if you play a couple Death Rattles in your deck, you won't be mad to see a N'Zoth in your hand. You know, you'll bring back your, like, 2 Loot Hoarders and your Beetle and maybe your, I don't know, Bone Drake if it's Arena. There's just a lot of options for this card. I think it can go in a lot of directions. I'm going to go ahead and be really gentle. Well, no, if you're not playing a Death Rattle focused deck, then you're not going to be playing Gravedigger.
Oh yeah.
But like, I'm going to go ahead and be really generous and give this a 4-star
Hyena.
because I love being right, and I might end up being right. And if I'm wrong, then everybody will forget about me giving this 4 stars. I'm really excited about this card. I want to see it shine. I'm going to give it 4 stars.
I'm gonna go with 2.
Wow. Okay.
Because I really just it's so niche and it's very, I don't know. I think people, if any, it's not gonna see a lot of standard play, but I could be wrong. It could be a sleeper because of the stuff that you could possibly get. But I think right now with the standard, there's a lot of stuff that's way too specific to itself.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Each deck is way too inclusive for it to be
Exclusive?
well, inclusive to its stuff. Like everything does stuff for
exclusive.
that specific reason. Okay. Exclusive
Parasitic.
to
It's very parasitic.
It's very parasitic to
Self-contained.
itself. That's
Very
the better one.
quarantined.
Very self-contained. So if you can grab bits and pieces of somebody's combo or
But sometimes just stealing
stuff.
like a Ysera and a Draconid Operative from a priest is enough. You have your dragon package right there. You know, in 2 cards. And I think this will help some like low to the ground decks survive to the end game. Probably not aggro decks, but decks that are comfortable getting to 7 mana, but probably want to end the game around there. This is going to help them survive into the late game when they run out of cast.
I might try it in like Beast Hunter because there is such stuff that's weirdly.
I think the Beast Hunter wants to be low to the ground. I don't think Beast Hunter wants this, but it could be.
I don't know.
You know, prove me wrong.
Because you can get to. To get to Savannah Highmane at 6.
Yeah, but Savannah
So-
Highmane is where you want to end the game.
Yeah.
Your 7th turn should be like swinging in and then killing them with damage from hand, like Kill Command and Hero Power, off of the back of the Savannah Highmane you just played.
Yeah.
Gengraymane.
Gangraymane?
Gengraymane.
Oh, okay.
I'm very excited about this card.
This is the even one?
6 mana, 6/5. Start of the game. So this is like the keyworded what Malchezaar does. So it's sort of like what Malchezaar does. If this is in your deck at the start of the game, and if your deck only has even costed cards, your hero power costs 1 for the rest of the game. I would like to make some clarifications. This mechanic, unlike the minionless hunter mechanic and the priest mage warlock cabal mechanic of having no cards that are duplicates in your deck, this asks at the beginning of the game, not when you play this card. So you don't have the option of building almost in those restrictions and then drawing until your deck fits that. You have to actually build a deck that literally contains only even costed cards. But the other added advantage of this is that you get this at the beginning of the game. You have for the whole game a hero power that costs 1. And what's really cool about this is since you only have even cards and your hero power costs 1, those odd turns you won't be wasting any mana because you'll be able to play your even cards and you'll be able to spend your 1 on your hero power since you have odd mana and get the value there. Yeah. So I'm very excited about getting Greymane. I think it's going to be a very good card.
I think, yeah. I mean, for that specific reason, it's going to be good, and also it's a 6-drop for 6/5, which is a decent 6-drop to begin with.
It's not a 6-drop I'm excited about playing with.
Well,
the only 6-drop, 6/5 I'm excited about playing is Savannah Highmane. That's because Death Rattle makes 2/2/2s.
I don't know. It's a body on the field, but it's not played for that.
I'm exceptionally excited to brew with this card. I'm very, very happy. I think classes with very good hero powers want this. Warlock, Hunter, very, very much going to want to mess with this card.
Maybe even Mage, because if it is at the beginning of your...
You lose all of your secrets, though.
Because that's the even... Wait, is that the even one? Okay.
Yeah, you lose all your secrets if you do that. Nah, I don't like that. But coming up on a card that might be played in Mage. You ready? Do you want to just move on to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've spoken enough on getting Greymane. Baku the Moon Eater, the exact opposite. Our boy Bakugan right here is a 9-mana 7/8 beast. If that's relevant, I don't think it is.
Yeah, he's gonna be played in Beast Hunter
at the start of the game. Beast Hunter with no even cards.
Exactly.
So no Savannah Highmane, no
secrets,
no Scavenging Hyena. And it's a 9-mana 7/8 in Beast Hunter. So what this does is if your deck has only odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power.
Which is interesting, because we've already seen this before in...
Justicar True Heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
If your deck has only odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power at the start of the game. So another Malchezaar type effect. Another Greymane type effect. If you have... at the start of the game, you upgrade your hero power. the really cool thing about this, I think, is that it lets you start the game as, like, warrior with tank up. You know, the thing that they played Jeskai True Hard for.
Yeah.
If you're paladin, it lets you start the game making 2 1/1s with your hero power, which I think is kind of crazy. It lets you consistently get the spell damage totem if you're shaman, but the only problem is you have to forsake all even cards.
Yeah.
You know, you can't play a lot of the cards that made the deck good. You know, this warrior deck doesn't have brawl anymore, doesn't have fiery war axe, doesn't have the 5/2 weapon for 5. You're missing so many. You're just losing out on half of the cards that you could possibly play, and I don't think either of these effects are worth that. Gen Greymane maybe, but Baku the Moon Eater definitely not. I think especially because you're not gaining any advantage in tempo, like when you can use the hero power. With Gen Greymane, at least you can hero power turn 1, but with Baku, I think really it's just not worth it. You're just losing too much by having to play no even cost cards.
Yeah, I mean,
cards
with
bad.
both of them.
I think. Oh, we never rated Gen Greymane.
Oh, I'm saying 4.
I'm gonna give Gen a 3, and I'm gonna give Baku a 1.
I'm gonna
Card's
give
terrible.
Baku a 1.
Really?
Yeah. In both cases, it's very you half of your collection you can't use.
Yeah, and like with Gen at least, you're not losing as much stuff with most classes, and your hero power is letting you sneak in a way to spend that 1 mana with your even cards.
Just the way that
This is
one
bad.
works, yeah. The way that it works is better because you have the evens and then you have the odds, which is
maybe
1.
in a deck with like all 1-drops and an upgraded hunter hero power, but that's just jank.
Did you even enough 1-drops to be able to do that?
Yeah, 1-drops and 3-drops, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm brewing in my head now, and I should stop.
It's weird. I think that they created Gen first and then was like, oh, we should probably make something to counter this, so we have an opposites.
That's
And
actually
they
an
were
interesting
like,
thought.
Moon.
I think there's probably going to be more legendaries with the start of the game mechanic. And I think maybe building a very restricted deck that plays like him, and I know that these obviously oppose each other, so you can't play them in the same deck and get their effects. But maybe,
but if you play multiple ones,
maybe there'll be 2 of them. Maybe there'll be another way to like upgrade your hero power, or like start the game with like 2 1/1s or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's an interesting way to look at it.
But yeah, that's all these. Those are all standard.
Let's talk about some arena changes. Before we go over the specific cards that they added just for the arena mode, cards are no longer sorted by rarity when you're drafting them in arena. They're sorted by power level.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you will no longer get like 3 rares, 3 commons, 3 epics in the same pick. This is to prevent people from getting like crazy decks with the same rarity as like someone else who has bad deck, you know. And I think this is a bad decision, not only because they gave the arena players no warning before they changed this. I feel bad for arena people, and I like arena a lot. I play it from time to time, but I feel really bad for them because they're being used as guinea pigs, kind of, for Blizzard trying to decide what they want the format to be. And I think that's not fair. They should offer this mode alongside the traditional arena so that people aren't, you know, like this is the way that some people play Hearthstone, and the game is just getting completely changed. Their functions are just getting axed, which I disagree with a lot. But essentially, and my other complaint is I don't know how well Blizzard can judge power level, judging based on how much they've had to nerf in the past and nerf to the ground. I don't know if I trust Blizzard to decide which 3 cards should be offered to me at the same time
so it's
at
a power
similar
level
power
as in,
level.
like the cards weight.
How good they are, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a 4. Like a bunch of 4-drops.
Like by mana cost?
Yeah.
No. It's organized by how good Blizzard believes the card is, which I think is asinine. I'm not excited. I've played 1 arena run since this, and I'm not going to share with you how well I did.
Probably 0-3.
I did not get... No, not 0-3. 3-3. I didn't get my class card. This actually might not be added yet. That might be why. But I did notice, I was like, wait a minute, why is this Bone Drake being offered to me with these 2 commons? And I was like, oh, is this like some weird glitch? I took a picture of it because I was going to post it to Reddit, and then I was like, oh no, this is just how they do this now. But with that change, since Arena no longer really cares about rarity, other than your 10th, 20th, and 30th pick are always going to be rare or better. And I think legendaries appear more frequently now because of the way that they're doing things. I don't know. But along with that, since rarity doesn't matter outside of that anymore, they've added some rarity-less arena exclusive cards, 1 for each class. We're going to review those real quick.
Polymorph question mark. Why do they name these things some weird stuff?
I don't know, man. We're going to look at the Paladin one first and review them in order. Is that cool with you? The Paladin one is 1 mana, Hand of Salvation. It's a secret. When your second minion dies this turn, return it to life. I think this card's very solid. Your opponent's probably going to figure out how to play around it. I don't know how often this is going to appear. I don't know what power level they've gauged these at. But I feel like Hand of Salvation, if it appears often enough, your opponent's going to be able to play around it and just kill your 1/1 second, kill your hero power second. So playing this, if that's the case, playing this will shut off your hero power, basically, because you don't want that to happen. But I feel like if you have like 2 big taunt minions, then this becomes really good. Because it brings it's guaranteed to bring one of those big taunt minions back to life unless they have removal and can play around the secret. This adds a lot of lines of play. This really deepens the play of playing against Paladin in Arena, which is not something I want because I hate playing against Paladin in Arena. But.
Well, it's the order. You have to think more about the order in which you have to do stuff, which is probably for people who are fairly decent at the game. I'm sure they'll figure out how to play around it very quickly.
It's a lot more tactics,
but
I don't know. Time will tell. Yeah. I'm excited about these changes. Polymorph
question mark.
Polymorph Whoomst is one of my favorite changes. It's 5 mana. You choose a minion and then you discover a new minion to transform it into.
Is it any minion?
Yeah. So it can be an enemy minion and you can try to transform it into something bad.
Is that a mage or is it
a mage?
It's okay.
You can pick your own minion and try to transform it into a charging Devilsaur or like well, not Ragnaros. This is Arena and it's not Wild. I don't know.
Just something better than what you
Archmage Antonidas. You're gonna pick your opponent's minion and try to turn it into
a wisp.
No, there's actually better ways to screw your opponent over. You can turn it into a Emerald Hive Queen.
Or a Doomsday.
The 1 mana 2/3 that
board.
makes their minions cost 2 more.
Oh, yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, because if you turn it into a Doomsayer, then they can't blood. And obviously, none of these options are going to be able to be consistently picked, but this is a card I expect some fun stream highlight reels out of.
Yeah.
The Hunter one is going to make Hunter playable in Arena, I think. Deadeye, 2 mana for the rest of your game, your hero power can target minions. Yeah, his eyes went up when he read it. It's pretty good. He hasn't seen these before.
No, I haven't. And Hunter's probably my favorite class.
It basically turns your hero power into the upgraded mage hero power. A while ago, a few sets back, well, actually, many sets back, and I believe it was Goblins and Gnomes, we saw Steamweedle Sniper, which was a 2 mana 2/3 minion, and as long as it was on the board, your hero power could attack minions, which was neat for Control Hunter, but a turn 4 play making a 2/3 and killing something or dealing 2 to a minion is not great. And it wasn't likely to survive because they didn't want your hero power to stay that way. But this, while it doesn't give you the 2/3 body, that can actually be seen as a benefit because they can't take this away. For the rest of your game, your hero power targeting minions.
And so if you draw it on curve, God, hopefully, like a turn 2, that's the rest of the game.
I actually don't want to play this on turn 2 in Arena. I want to play this when I have a slight board advantage already so that I can start shooting minions. If on turn 2 my opponent's already played their 1-drop or their 2-drop, I don't want their board advantage to get to spiral out of control. So I'm not playing this yet. I'm playing this on like turn 6 when I can play it alongside a decent 2-drop and shoot down their thing. But I'm excited about this card. Nature's Champion, I have no idea how to feel about it.
It's a 3
mana Druid, the Druid Arena card. Return a friendly minion to your hand and give it +5/+5.
That's great. If something you have to play it on.
Okay, it has to already be out.
Fine. What do you mean? You already have to play. So you have to play a minion.
It has to be out. It has to survive a turn, or you have to play it on the same turn that you're cool with playing 3 mana and not getting anything on board. So you have to play this card on a turn that you don't want, that you don't care about having anything on board, and those are hard to come by in Arena. If you're playing this on a thing that already exists, then bada bing, bada boom, you're good. But
I don't know. If you have something that's on the board and it's damaged, you basically get you get to return something that's already done something back to your hand, and then you get to also boost it.
The other problem I have with this is it's trying to make hand buff and Druid, which is a mechanic that doesn't exist yet. It's pushing hand buff and Druid. Doppelgangster's rotating out, so that's not even a target for this. The only real good thing that you can hit with this is Saronite Chain Gang, which is a rare that Druid doesn't want to pick unless they're building around Nature's Champion. If this appears often enough, then this with Saronite Chain Gang is game winning. Because on turn 7 you play Chain Gang, you play this, you leave a 2/3 on the board, and then next turn you get to pay 4 mana and drop 7/8. 7/8. Yeah, you get to drop 3 7/8 for 4 mana on the next turn. Yeah. Taunts. So it ends up being really good if you can do that, but you have to draft this with something like that. I just don't think it's going to be feasible.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting enough for it'll definitely see play, I think.
Blazing Longsword is going to make Warrior the best arena class unless it is very difficult to find. It is ridiculous. It's a 3-mana 2/3 weapon. Also damages the minions next to whomever your hero attacks.
That already exists in... That's the boy... yeah.
Garrosh Hellscream?
Yeah.
Or Scourge Lord Garrosh?
Yeah.
Yeah. As a 4/3 weapon tacked onto an 8-mana hero. This is a 3-mana weapon. This comes down on turn 3 and kills your opponent's first few turns plays. I love it. I think it's going to make Warrior playable, but I think it's also going to polarize Warrior drafts into drafts where you get 3 Blazing Longswords and drafts where you go 0-3. Those are the 2 possibilities now that this card exists for drafting a Warrior in Arena, and it's going to be real feels bad man when you draft Warrior. You get no Blazing Longswords, and then you lose to like a Arena Shaman or something. Now Shaman's good in Arena because of this. We haven't talked about the last 4 cards. But Blazing Longsword I think is exciting and also scary. I don't want more polarized drafts. This is going to feel like drafting Paladin in Arena and your win rate literally consisting of how many Spike Ridge Steeds and True Silver Champions you drafted. That's just not fun. But only time will tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a great card.
But if it's how often you're going to be able to find
it's a broken card, and it's gonna polarize Warrior drafts a lot, I think. Especially depending on how likely you are to get them. Because still there's commons that you're unlikely. Like, I'll draft Paladin, and I'll get, like... there have been drafts where I'll get no Light in the Darkness. And that's, like, one of the things that makes Paladin good in Arena.
Yeah.
So the Warlock Arena exclusive card is 0 mana, replace your hand with random demons. Bottled Madness. Merge. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it
seems bad.
I think it is bad because Blood Imp exists and because Flame Imp exists. I think doing this on a full hand after you've hero powered a few times would be really good, except that you can get Blood Imp and you can get Flame Imp and you can get some really bad 1-drops, and you're going to be playing this when you have a full hand, so it's a few turns into the game and those cards aren't relevant anymore. The cool thing, though, is in Arena, this could give you, like, here's a Jiraxis and a Voidlord, go crazy. Especially if you have a fuller hand, you have a higher chance of getting those crazy cards, and maybe you can just ignore the Blood Imps and the Flame Imps, but you also have to survive that long while using your hero power to fill up your hand. So I don't know. The fact that this is 0 mana definitely helps, because you can play it and then play one of the demons you got. Yeah. But I don't know, it's still very sketchy. I like it. I will be drafting this if I play Warlock in Arena. But I don't know.
I don't play a lot of Arena, but that seems... I don't know. It seems... interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems bad just because of the amount of that you have to rely on RNG.
Yeah.
But it's bad. It's the same way it's bad because you can get
the RNG
crazy
is softened though when you have a really big hand, because you're getting to roll 6-7 times for demons. You're getting to roll 6-7 times, and replacing your hand to try to get a Warlord, to try to get a Voidlord is probably good. Yeah. 0 mana, discard your hand and draw a Voidlord is not bad, and this gives you some Blood Imps on the side. And then, of course, it runs the chance of not getting you the Voidlord or the Jiraxis or whatever you're looking for. But I think it's a solid card.
And it gives you I'm not gonna hate on it. 6 Flame Imps.
Those are going to be some stream highlights, I feel. No, 6 Blood Imps.
6 Blood Imps.
Crackling Doom. The Shaman Arena card. 0 mana, deal 12 damage to all minions. Overload 10. This card's bad. It's going to wipe the board, and then your opponent gets... this essentially reads, wipe the board, your opponent takes 2 turns. Temporis is bad, so this card is bad. It's giving your opponent... you have a whole turn where you can't do anything, you just draw a card. And this is giving your opponent
2 turns to reset
2 turns essentially, because you have the board wipe, they get a turn to build their board again. You get a turn where you can't do anything, and then they get a board where they can attack with the board they just built and build their board some more. So this card's terrible. Literally, unless your opponent is handless, which no good Arena player will leave themselves handless, will leave themselves hellbent. Unless your opponent is in that state, which they won't be, then this card's useless. I'm giving... this is bad. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like there are practical applications where this card isn't bad?
No. Because you wipe the board, and then they get 2 turns to It's like, I don't know. However, it depends on when you play it as well.
Because
if you're going against some sort of aggro deck on turn 5, you drop this, you destroy their 6 2 and 1 drops that you did. But I don't even know if you even want to build aggro and.
Yeah, the problem I have with this is it's only good in combination with some cards that have rotated, or will rotate by the time this is in Arena. You have Lava Shock, which is from Blackrock Mountain, that deal 3 damage, or I think it's deal 3 damage. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals, which would obviously make this great. And
you have to spend the 3 mana, which you don't have.
What do you mean you don't have? No. This only reduces the costs next turn. This only reduces your mana crystals next turn.
Oh, okay.
You still have all the mana crystals
so you play the 0 drop, and then you play the thing that unlocks everything.
Yeah, and you can play like Sentinel.
Yeah.
And that will,
that makes sense.
That will unlock your mana crystals. But neither of those are available in Arena when this comes out. So, that sucks. Smoke Bomb is the rogue one. 1 mana, give a minion stealth, draw a card. It's fine. Stealth until your next turn is fine. You can use this to protect like a Gadgetzan reporter or like a questing adventurer, and this gives it a tick. I think this definitely has its place in Rogue, especially in an archetype where you're trying to draft dudes that gain value over time, and you can give them a turn to be safe while you set up. Gadgetzan Auctioneer is another great.
Yeah,
this card's very solid. It's going to open up some degenerate combos in Arena. It's a card that I'm glad doesn't exist in Constructed. Almost all of these cards I'm glad don't exist in Constructed. Generous Spirit is a fine card. This is the last one. It's a priest.
2-drop spell.
2-drop. Choose a friendly minion, give it to your opponent, and draw 3 cards. This is good if you drafted Wisp.
It's good if you drafted anything filler.
This is good with a Doomsayer.
Yeah.
Because you pass it to your opponent, draw 3 cards. Again, this is a card I would be really afraid of in Constructed, because 4 mana, guaranteed board wipe, and draw 3 cards is busted. Because this with Doomsayer does that. But in Arena, the only cards that this interact with in a positive way are like epics. So this is nothing like Doomsayer. So this is nothing to worry about in Arena, I feel like. And it only exists in Arena. So I don't think this is going to make too big of a change either. Like, giving up a 1/1 to your opponent to draw 3 cards is good, but how often are you actually going to get to do that? I think too often it's just going to be... Because you don't want to draft bad minions to give to your opponent. Like if you get a 1/1 off the death rattle of like your...
like filler.
Yeah, if you get a 1/1 off the death rattle of your Eggnapper, then that's cool, but then, again, you're drafting to build around this bad card. So I really don't think it's good.
It's alright.
It's fine.
I don't think it'll do anything crazy like the Longsword or Smoke Bomb or something like that.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But I think the best cards from this by far are like Blazing Longsword, Deadeye.
Oh, I think in order...
Blazing Longsword is #1 card from this. Like, it's going to bump Warrior up in playability.
Smoke Eye. Smoke Bomb, and then probably Polymorph.
I think Hand of Salvation's a sleeper too, and Paladin doesn't need to be made any better in Arena, and this card is definitely doing that. If people learn to play around it, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm betting on. The reason why I don't
You're betting on people playing around it.
People are betting on people are smart enough.
Smart choice
to be able to figure out how to do that. Because people learn how to play around the Komodo, Getaway Komodo.
Getaway Kodo?
Getaway Komodo.
Well, no,
dragon.
they haven't learned to play around it. You just haven't learned to not use your hero power after you play it. People
learn to play around it, and
you have learned to not use your hero power when you play it.
So I think they'll figure out how to play around.
He plays Lanessa, plays that, and then gets mad when they kill his 1/1. Why would they not kill my Lanessa first when I have a secret out?
Well, because it has a taunt. And then they...
Yeah, and you're playing against Mage.
Yeah.
And they can hero power and shoot your 1/1.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
And Salvation will make that good. Because they'll do that, and then they'll be like, get wrecked.
Well, you're in Arena. Not. This is only in Arena.
True.
You can't play a Lanessa deck in Arena. Well, I guess... God, I don't want to watch that try to happen. If somebody plays a Lanessa against me in Arena, if they drafted a Lanessa and like 2 Spike Ridge Steeds and whatever, then yeah, they can have that win. That's your win, kiddo.
Congratulations.
Take this W. But yeah, this has been our review of the changes
in Hearthstone.
For the new shit that they added, the new stuff that they added. You can edit that out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cards for Arena and the few cards they revealed from the new expansion. Join us next time there's a lump of new cards from the expansion to talk about. Ben Brode said like the 26th, but it's definitely going to happen before that. There's going to be leaks, I'm sure.
Probably.
So I'm pretty excited to see what they have to show us.
So yeah,
Reddit is a buzz. Go check them out. Go check out the Hearthstone subreddit, r/Hearthstone.
there's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah,
once
really
you get
cool
past all the
discourse.
eating shoe stuff.
Yeah, there's a dude who said that he was going to eat a shoe if the new expansion was not Emerald Dream themed. So everybody's calling him out, and I expect him to post the video. Or I expect him not to, because it's Reddit and people lie on the internet all the time. I expect him to delete his Reddit account. That's what I expect him to do. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed the video.
If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And
Subscribe to Stevensville Gamers for more of that, more of this content. Get the bell so that you know when new videos come out.
Go down to social medias, check out all the social media stuff, because we also post when we upload there as well.
We
and
do.
Also, if you want to get some Stevensville Gamers merch, we have 2 new designs right now that's in the process of being made. But the Redbubble link's down there in the description if you want to check that out. Other than that, make sure you guys keep the All Spirit with you and Michael.
And Fred
From
Stevensville Gamers.
From Stevensville Gamers is gonna
From
be
Stevensville Gamers signing out now.
1, 2, 3. Oh yeah.
Bye.
Hey guys, it is Michael
And Cricket.
from Stevensville Gamers, and welcome back. Hey guys, it is Michael
And David. And me.
from Stevensville Gamers. Hey guys, it is Michael.
And Dave.
Hey guys, it is Michael
And April.
from Stevensville Gamers. Oh yeah.